All right, so some big news and kind of a hot topic story of just like subscription based gaming in all for all the different companies publishers out there. It seems like every time you turn around, there's a new subscription being announced, or there's a new subscription coming, or something that is just dropping out of nowhere. And Ubisoft and a few others have been having their subscription services on PC platforms and certain consoles. But now, the latest one to drop into this whole news cycle is Ubisoft and their subscription service, Ubisoft Plus, is coming to Xbox. So what does this mean? Well, let's jump kind of into it a little bit here. I wanted to talk overall about like subscription services overall in gaming, and how they're a good and a bad thing. This is kind of like a follow up video I did Let's Talk before on this, but let's just read into this Ubisoft news real quick here. So Ubisoft Plus, the publisher's subscription service, and the entire library of its games will launch on Xbox in the near future. Now, Ubisoft games, of course, have been already on the Xbox, but Ubisoft Plus has not. It's been Ubisoft Connect, I do believe, or something like that, or Ubisoft Hub or something. And that's it's for your reward token things that you can use inside the game to get extra DLC content, which I find is really really cool. It's just like it's rewarding for the more time that you spend in Ubisoft games and the more rewarding DLC content that you get. I think that's awesome. That's a really really cool thing that Ubisoft's been doing for over a decade now. And then they have their subscription service, of course, which is Ubisoft Plus, which has previously been exclusive to PC and cloud services such as Google Stadia and Luna, Amazon Luna, giving subscribers day one access to new releases and DLC for the publisher's games. So this is very much like the Xbox way of thinking of Gamepass gives you day one access to all the brand new stuff. So if a Gears of War comes out, for Horizon, Forza Horizon comes out, it's all there day one. So that's really cool. Sony doesn't do that, which in all honesty, they don't really need to. I know that there's a lot of people who are like, well, Sony should get in on that trend and do it too. It's like, they don't need to really, because their games sell so well. And also there is so much money being pumped into their PlayStation Studios first party titles, where Xbox goes for more a third party developer stance. Again, Ubisoft, third party developers, they're bringing them into their subscription service. So basically, the whole thing of like Xbox is turning into the Netflix of gaming 100%. And at first I was like, I don't know if they're going to fully go down that route, but yeah, they have fully fledged gone down that route the last 2 years. So these include games such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, Riders Republic, and more, including all the DLC present in all those games' premium editions. Now, everybody was taking it that, similar to Bethesda, that when you have Game Pass, that you're just going to get automatic access to the whole library of Ubisoft games. That's not the case. Ubisoft is not getting bought out or partnering with Microsoft, so to speak. Like, they are partnering on the subscription front, but they're not partnering on the publisher front. Like, Microsoft is basically ZeniMax's publisher at this point. They supply them with the cash funding to do any projects that they want to, including like Elder Scrolls 6 or any new Fallouts, or whatever that a new Doom or another Dishonored or something later on down the road. Like, Microsoft is basically one more hat in the race of getting those projects made. So the service will be coming to Xbox, but Ubisoft hasn't yet announced when. It also hasn't revealed if the pricing will remain the same, with the current subscription going for $15 a month on PC. Unlike EA Play, the announcement makes no mention of the service, including the service being included as part of Xbox Games Pass on either Xbox or PC. Now, this here, so EA Play is also available, and no, they have, like, Microsoft hasn't bought out EA or anything. That was a full-on partnership deal right there between publishers, because EA and Microsoft get along. Could we see that happen with Ubisoft? Absolutely. Could it be a full-on partnership deal in the future? Absolutely. this really feels like they're kind of testing the waters for possibly doing that stuff. And I think Microsoft is probably also going like, okay, Ubisoft, you guys got some of the biggest titles out there of, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Rocksmith is going to be is in the works. It's going to be coming out sometime, hopefully in this next year time span. Riders Republic is there, Division is there, Ghost Recon is there. So you got all these different franchises that Ubisoft has. You've seen me play through them on the channels plenty of times. I'm a big Ubisoft fan. Again, like if you can do it for a premium or one low price to get all the premium content of all the actual games day one, that's awesome. On the flip side of that, are we going to see the quality of the games go down? Because if everybody's getting the games for cheap, they're not paying full price for them. The one flip side on that flip side, I should say, lots of flip siding I'm talking about here. So to go into that point of it though, of are developers actually getting paid for their work, and can studios keep getting paid, as I've been going on and on about with the subscription stuff? It's the filtering part of the whole thing. So if people don't like Division anymore and they don't like Ghost Recon anymore, which we have definitely seen sales kind of average out, it's like, their best sellers are definitely not Division and Ghost Recon. They're more of like an Assassin's Creed, a Far Cry. Quality control happens with the subscriptions in that instance. So can Game Pass get away with doing a bunch of indie titles on their platform, or do they have to keep going with these third-party publishers to get those games into Game Pass to keep that Game Pass subscription selling up here? Yes, they're going to have to do that. And what it's going to do, though, if you're an indie developer, you better be making one hell of a good indie game that people are actually going to, turn around and buy. If they just play through your game one time on a $1 subscription to Game Pass, there's no turnaround profit there. So, again, and this is where it's going to hurt Ubisoft. The announcement was made in conjunction with that Rainbow Six Extraction launches on Xbox Game Pass later this month. The game will launch day one for all subscribers on Xbox and PC, with Rainbow Six Siege also being added to the service at the same time. Now, they've made their money tenfold with Rainbow Six Siege. They can get away with doing that. Rainbow Six Extraction, I can guarantee you, I have had hands-on with Extraction, and I don't think it's to the same level as... It's just not the same feel as Rainbow Six Siege. It's all the same operators. It's basically Rainbow Six Siege, but PvE form, where you are going in Horde style. Think Gears of War Horde, but your operators can get collected and then you have to go and rescue them and everything. It's a cool concept on paper, but it just feels like an expansion pack to Rainbow Six Siege. And when you already have your dedicated fan base for Rainbow Six Siege is doing player versus player PvP, and there's competition there, that's a totally different feel than just going in PvE. So can they make the profit off from doing this onto Game Pass? Or are they going to lose profits by people just going, okay, I'm going to put down $5 for Game Pass and play this, and then have like a weekend with it and never touch it again? In that point, I think the subscription service stuff is going to hurt Ubisoft. Now, again, if you turn it around to like a Bethesda and Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, boom, that game is going to sell like crazy, unless they screw it up royally and make it like online only or something. They do something like a Fallout 76 with it. Just name alone, Elder Scrolls should sell. That's what they're banking on. Will it? Who knows? We have to see the gameplay trailers and we have to see all that stuff. That's the reason why I am so typed up for events and everything, because then hopefully we get to see trailers for it. So my other thing is, every company, okay, so the Ubisoft subscription is $15 a month. Again, $15 a month for Ubisoft Plus. I mean, all these titles is pretty cool if you're a Ubisoft fan, but if you have Game Pass, this is not going to be included in with it. So, okay, cool. Ubisoft Plus is on the Xbox. Some people might dive into that. I'm thinking that a lot of people are just going to stick with the Game Pass, in all honesty. I don't think they're going to see a ton of return. Now, the other one is like an EA Play. Now, we've already seen that, okay, so like Mass Effect Legendary Edition, one of my favorite trilogies of all time, is in Game Pass. This is cool. I can install this and play Game Pass right now on my PCs because I have the Game Pass going. Um, that's awesome. At the same time, boy, BioWare could use that funding for Mass Effect 4, of like having somebody buy a full product on the EA Origin store. There we go. That's the one that's on the PC. Um, so, like I said, it's like this balance of like play it for cheap and get a whole bunch of people in playing the game, or get the full funding from them having to buy the full version of the game. Of course, a lot of people buy it on sale, so they'll end up saving money on it. But still, you're still not buying it through subscription. You're actually buying it from the publisher, putting it onto the store. So it's this, like I said, it's this very toss-up thing of like which way is the best way of going about this? Is subscriptions, a really good thing or not? And I've been going back and forth with that of like, I don't know if the subscription stuff is really gonna. My gut feeling is it's not gonna pan out well for everyone. On the flip side, then you also have, okay, and I will call out Sony on this a little bit. Okay, so this is Sony's prices straight from the PS5 itself. But you look at this lineup: Mafia, God of War, MK11, Horizon, GTA. I mean, this is a great lineup of titles. You're getting your bang for your buck, and these are all downloadable for everyone that's like, you can't download games on PlayStation. You can be able to download games on PlayStation now since the PS4 started up. The only games that you can't do is a PS3 title. So, which I think The Last of Us is a PS3 title. So then you have to, okay. The subscription is going on another account, but that would normally say stream. And then you have to stream the game off from the servers and all that stuff. Now, me, I don't like doing that at all. I'm very against that type of thing, especially if it's something like a multiplayer game, because then you have the stream lag, and then you're trying to also do in-game lag and off the servers and everything that you're connecting. Because literally, it's not your console that's connecting to the servers; it's a server somewhere else that you are beaming the video and audio feed to your console. So it's not actually your connection, it's the server connection. If that server connection isn't working proper, throws the whole thing out of balance, both on your end and everyone else's end. That's a whole other topic though. But yeah, it's like I said, everybody's got their subscription services. The difference between like a Sony and I would also say an EA, because EA has been really funding the hell out of their game developers too. Because I mean, we got what, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Battlefield, possibly a Need for Speed in the future. I mean, those. I mean, that's 4 big titles right there to go throughout the year that EA can definitely be making bank, and also that they are funding 4 major studios to make 4 major AAA titles. Did Battlefield turn out as well as it could have? No. But that's a developer thing. The developers over at DICE, for some reason, they just can't get the engine to work proper with Battlefield right now. Did Mass Effect Legendary Edition come out good? Yes. So that's where your difference is. The Mass Effect on the Unreal Engine looks great. And it also plays great. Highly recommend going and checking it out, especially now it's on Game Pass through subscription. So again, it's like, as a consumer and as a content creator, it's great having these subscription services. But at the same time, if you are listening to the behind the scenes of how all the funding works, it's almost scary, because now it's just like, man, if people are not buying that title, then more so than ever before, because we've had this forever now, where it's like, okay, the whole thing of like, let's get this remaster made, but nobody bought the original, so why would they make a remaster of it, or a remake of something? There's a lot of people like Resident Evil Code Veronica. Everybody's like, remake that game to make it great and everything. Again, though, if they don't have the proper funding, if there's not the funding there to make, I don't know. It's this weird thing of like, can the industry survive off from subscription-based stuff alone? That's the biggest question. And I think that's going to be I think Rainbow Six Extraction is going to be something to keep an eye on. Is Ubisoft just going to drop Rainbow Six Extraction and go right back to Siege, because people don't do they don't actually buy a full copy of the game? because it's on something like a Game Pass. I know Back for Blood just did kind of rough sales wise. It like broke even basically because it was on Game Pass and all that, and people just play it for a weekend. They were just like, okay, I'm cool, I'm done. There's no return on investment on that. So yeah, I think the main point is I basically be wary of just playing games on subscription based services. If you want to see another game be made, definitely pick up the full copy of the game. Make sure that you are still actually funding your game developers and publishers, because without that funding, the next thing does not get made. So yeah, that's my biggest point of this whole thing. Of it's going to be very interesting to see going forward, to see what happens. I know that PlayStation Now is also in the they're basically thinking about, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Yes. So they're basically thinking about now making PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus in one package deal. Okay, that's good on, but the difference there being that they're just packaging everything together instead of having it be two separate charges to your account. It just makes everything underneath one, it's a tier system. So I'll definitely have a follow-up Let's Talk video as soon as they officially announce all the details of what Sony's going to be doing with that stuff. But yeah, it's interesting to see just where the industry is going to be going in the next 5 years. Is everything going to be subscription-based, or is the publishers going to be like, wait, we're losing money on this, and we want to bring it back to $60, $70 a game? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, go check out the rest of the YouTube channel, and yeah, there's lots of Let's Talks, VODs, and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, I will see you next time.